Good morning, everyone. I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me. So if you can hear me, just type a yes or no in the chat box so that I can see. Perfect. We're going to get started in about 1 more minute. Okay, so it is 9:30 on the dot. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa. So today we're going to be reviewing setting up your agent website and also some of your profile settings that we call in our office dashboard. So this is an interactive webinar. So any and all questions are welcome, even encouraged. No question is too silly or ridiculous. So please ask away. I just want to make sure everyone that's on here, if you haven't typed yes or no, if you can hear me, please do so. I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Hopefully, you guys have been getting familiar with the platform and have been logging in frequently. So by the time we're finished with this, you should be almost experts on creating your website and adding to your profile. Perfect. Also, this session is being recorded. You'll be receiving a copy of the webinar via email so that you can go back and view it at any time. It'll also be posted on our YouTube channel. So you can always refer to that as well for a library of our video tutorials. And you can also join our Facebook group if you haven't already. If you have any questions, it's just an open forum or community so you can chat and ask questions on the page. Okay, so let's get started. So hopefully everyone is on their main dashboard in Office. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go up to your profile thumbnail. Randy just asked what's the name of the Facebook group. It should be under realistic. So if you search realistic with a Q on Facebook, you should be able to find it. Just let me know if you can't and we can send that to you. Kelsey actually just put the direct link in there for you. So you can click on that to get directly to the website. To the Facebook page. Perfect. Okay, so you're going to click on your thumbnail here. And to access your website, you're going to come down to the website link here. Click on website. Now, actually, I'm already in edit, but let's pretend I'm not. So in order to get into your edit page, you're going to come down here to your site login. It's always going to be your same login as your office. I have mine saved. So now once you log in, it's going to show this black bar at the top. So whenever you see this black bar, this means that you are in edit mode of your website. So just make sure that in order to change anything, you're going to have to make sure that you see this black bar up here with your menu to edit. Now, also, if you want to edit any section, this is where you're going to click on the little pencil icon to edit. It will, if you do not see this, you will see up here on the right, it'll say edit page. It's a white button. You have to click on that in order to be able to edit any of these sections. So the first thing we're going to cover is choosing your design, your layout of your actual website. So we go up here to the menu bar, click on design. And then you'll see here, you have probably about over 30 options of layouts and templates for your website page. Now, each one is going to have bullet points discussing or basically explaining highlights of what each layout does. Some have different options than others. So you might want to go through and read them or just go by how you like aesthetically it's laid out. So I'm going to go over here and see if I can find one. So then once you choose one that you like, you can also decide on the color scheme. So if I wanted to change the color, I can go here and click on it and I select use this design, and it's going to update in real time. Well, that didn't work out how I wanted it. Oh, because I need to scroll up. Let's choose another one. I don't know why it's coming out a little wonky. Even better. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. A little glitch. Let's go back to my try this one more time. There we go. Okay, so excuse the glitch. That happens sometimes with technology. So now I've chosen a different layout. If I wanted to go back to the default is always going to be Design 24. So I would just select that. And then I'm going to select Edit Page. So again, if you are already in Edit, you will not see this button. If you are not in the edit mode of your editing of your website, you will now see the pencil icon. So this means you can go and you can edit any section of your page. But we're going to start off with the top part of the home page and edit your images. So if you select edit here, I can go in, and if you stay on the page long enough, you'll see that this is a slideshow of different images. You'll see it moving in the background. So you can choose each slide what image you want. If you, for whatever reason, don't want 6 slides, you can go in here and say yes or no. And then that will either omit or bring the slide to show up. You can do that for any of them. Now, if I just want to change the image, I'm going to select change here. And I can either use what's in my own library of uploaded images. I can upload my own image from my computer, or I can go back to the Back at You images here, which is a library of stock images. So I can select by areas. So if I'm in the areas section, I can go down here to the drop down and look for my area. And you'll see once you select it, it's going to have stock photos of that area. Any of these as well. You have interiors, you have lifestyle, which is going to be images of people. You have real estate, pool, and then luxury real estate as well. You also have holidays. So once you go down here, you're going to also come to the drop down and you can choose by the time period, and it's going to bring up any holidays that are in that season. Any questions about that? Oh, sorry, I missed a question from Edith. Is it okay to change the original global pages, or those should always be there? I'm not sure I understand your question, Edith. The global pages, or those should always be there. What do you mean by the global pages? I'll wait for you to type that in because I want to make sure I answer your question. Okay, so let's go to lifestyle. And if I wanted to change the picture, I can. And then also, if you want to change the headline for your home search, you can do that as well. So if I want to say, let's say, find your dream home instead of search homes, I can do that as well. And you can decide whether you want to show it in the main search bar. You can decide how you want the property search. Any of these categories you can choose, and then you're going to hit OK. And then it's going to change the image right away. Now, Also, if you want to add a video instead of a still image, you can do so as well. So we do have some stock videos that you can choose from here. So if I wanted to select one of these, I can also choose the brightness of the video. And then I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to update live. So now when you go to your page, it's going to show an actual live video instead of still images that are slides. To me, I think this is it's a no-brainer. Now, if I want to go back and add my own video, you can do so as long as you have it in YouTube. So I'm going to select YouTube, and I already put in a link right here. So now I'm going to hit OK. And now it's going to update with that YouTube video. So Edis is, yes, so you can, so I believe that Edis is asking if you can change the pages that are on your website right now. Yes, you can. And we're going to get into that later. But do you mean the pages or do you mean the panels on your home page? Just to clarify. Okay, let me go back and change this to an image. There we go. Now, one thing you want to make sure that you do, please, please, please hit the save button. You don't want to go through all of this work and then you forget to save it and you have to start all over again. And anytime you make changes, the save button will appear up here on the top right. If you haven't made any changes, then it's not going to appear. So I'm going to hit save. So are there any questions about changing the images so far? No. Okay. So now you can also edit any of these panels. So let's say I wanted to get rid of this whole panel and I just wanted to go back. I just wanted to connect directly to this 4 panel. I'm going to hit hide. I'm going to select OK. And then now that single panel is hidden. So none of this will be visible on the front end of your website. However, it'll just connect seamlessly here. One thing you want to keep in mind is when you are in edit mode of your website, it will be seamless on the front end. So any updates that you make and you hit save, it's going to update live time. However, it's not going to affect anyone utilizing or going to your front end of your website. Does that make sense? Okay, Edis is asking, the pages, when I clicked edit on the existing pages earlier, it said was global pages from the company, and if changed, wouldn't update anymore. When you clicked on the edit on the existing pages, Kelsey, I'm not sure what Edis is asking. I don't know if you want to be able to chime in and respond to her. So when you click on the existing pages earlier, are you talking about the pages or the actual panels? That's what I'm confused about. I'll wait for her to respond. Okay, so let me move forward. So if you want to go down here and edit as well, you can go in and you would choose which panel you want to edit. Then you would decide what picture you want. Same thing as any of the images on here. You have the stock images to choose from. And then you can choose what the copy will be, what the button will say, and where you want the button to go, which we'll also get into that, adding custom pages to those buttons later on in this webinar. So you select OK. We can say your neighborhoods top agent. Okay, let's hit save. Okay, Edith, I don't know. I'm trying to understand what you're asking, but I'm not sure if you are asking about actual custom pages or the panels on the home page. And if we can't answer it right now, then we can definitely answer your question offline. Okay. So, also, if you would like to do a little more advanced, if you were a little more advanced than the average bear, then you can come up here to the advanced section of your website. You can also add your Google Analytics tracking ID. So any of you that have a Google Analytics account, you have a tracking ID, essentially what that does is it tracks the traffic that's coming to your website so that you have better analytics of where things are coming from. You will put the tracking ID here, and then it also tells you how to find it if you click here, and then you would hit save. Same thing for your Facebook pixel ID. So if you want to track anything coming from Facebook to see if that's where the source is coming to your website, then you will put your pixel ID in here, and you can click here to see how to find it on your Facebook account. And then you would hit save. And then also, if you go to your pages up here, your menu, you can change anything on your menu. So your menu is either, depending on your layout of your website, it's usually going to be over here on the right, or it will be up here along the top. So any of that is editable as well. You can either edit it directly here from your menu by hitting edit, or you can also go up to the menus page or menu nav right here, and it's going to be site menu. You're going to select edit. And then here is where you can edit your menu. So if you wanted to change something or put something underneath as a subcategory, you can do that in your menus. So also, you can, once we create a custom page, which we're about to do, I will show you how to add the custom page to your menu as well. So if you want something more than what is showing up automatically, which is usually going to be your portal, what's your home worth page, which will get your home value page, which we'll get to in a minute as part of your leads, your about me, and your home and for sale. You can also add custom content to your page, to your website. So if you wanted to add maybe a top 10 list for the neighborhood or anything that you could show value of you as an agent, you can add that to your website. You can add your own listings. You can add any local community events. Anything that's going to show you as a dynamic agent, I would add. And it also makes your page a little more personalized than the other websites. So in order to do that, you're going to add a new page up here. And there's two different types of templates for custom pages. So you have your standard page templates right here. And these are essentially just layouts. You'll see here where there's copy and there's images. So you're going to choose which layout you want. Now, anything in the standard template for the custom pages, you will have to update. So once you create the page and the layout and you've saved it and you've added it to your website, it's not going to change unless you go in and edit it. Now, if you scroll down here to the dynamic page templates, these layouts right here are fed from the MLS, so they will be updated automatically through the MLS. So it just feeds information that comes from the MLS. So we're going to choose the listings template and select next. And then you have to name the page. So I can put my new listings. And then if you want to add a meta tag, you can at this time. And if any of you don't know what a meta tag is, it is basically essentially the definition of a meta tag is a small piece or snippet of text that describes a page's content. So if you're going on Google and you see the little phrases next to when you do a search for different pages, that's essentially the meta tag. And what it's used is on the back end where we don't see in the page's source code. It's a descriptor of the page so that the internet can basically filter through what pages go for what when you're searching pages. So it's a little content descriptor that helps tell search engines what the web page is about and categorize them. That's the very generic definition for any of you that don't know what it is. And don't worry if you don't and you want to add it later, you can always do that. So we're going to select not at this time. And then you also have the option to add to the menu right now, which I'll show you afterwards. However, when you're creating a custom page, I would suggest not doing that right away because you want to make sure that your page is how you want it before it goes live on your website. Because essentially when you create these custom pages, it does not show up anywhere until you've added it to your menu, which I will get to after we create the page. So I'm going to hit OK. So now it brings up the template for the listings, and this is one that will be fed through the MLS. Everything on here is editable. So I'm going to go up here and click on the edit page so that I can now edit each section. I can edit the image here. So if I want to add a picture, well, we can do that. Let's find a picture of a house. Now, any of the copy in these custom page templates is going to be lorem ipsum. It's basically just a filler version of Latin that is put in there for you to see what the layout will look like. And the reason why that's done is we want to make sure that you're adding your own custom content, because if we put in the copy, most of you probably wouldn't change it. We really want this to be customized to you as an agent. So I'm going to go in here. And it's essentially like a Word document. I can pretty much edit whatever I want. I can add an image in here if I wanted to. I can add a hyperlink. So I can say, find your dream home. Click here. And I can actually make this. Now, obviously, I wouldn't do. Don't do this, but you would put in your URL here and then select OK. And now it's become a URL. If I wanted to add an image, I can add an image in here as well. So anything that you can basically do in Word, you can do here. I'm going to hit OK. And now it's saved. If you wanted to add or embed a YouTube video, you can do that as well here by adding the link. Let's see if I still have my link open. Put this in here. And then it'll embed your YouTube. And then it shows all of the listings pulling from MLS. You scroll back up here, you can also show listing stats. So I'm going to say yes and hit OK. And then here is where they would search. If you want to add an optional menu for the page, like a sub menu, you can do that here as well. And then you want to make sure that you hit save once you're done. And then now you've created a custom page. And this will be updated automatically through MLS because this is a dynamic template. Is there any questions about creating a custom page before I move on? Okay. All right. So now you've created your custom page. It's not going to actually show up anywhere on your website until you've added it to your menu. So we're going to go up to the menu, select. You're going to select edit. And then you're going to go here to custom pages. And I'm going to find the one that I just created. And then I'm going to name it, let's just say, oops, find your dream home. And then I can choose whether I want it to be actually as a main menu item, or it could be a sub menu of one of my main menu items. So I'm going to make it a sub menu under for sale. And then I'm going to hit save. And then you'll see here under for sale, I have find your dream home. So now it's been added to my site. So just quickly to recap, going over the pages. In order to create a custom page, you're going to go up here to pages. And all of your pages that you've created are going to live here. So if you ever want to get to one that you've created, like here's the one that I just created, and I can go in and edit, or I can delete it. And if I want to add a new one, I can do that. It's going to take me to the templates, and I can choose from either a standard template where I put in all of the information and I have to update it myself, or one that is dynamic and is fed through MLS. And I can choose any of these and create that as well. And then you're going to fill out the information. You're going to put in your copy. You have to put in copy, unfortunately. And then you can edit the images. You can edit anything on your page that you want. And you want to make sure you hit save when you're done. And then you've created your new page. Just make sure that when you create your new page that you are adding it to your main menu of your website, or it will not show up. It'll be dormant in the internet abyss. Any more questions? Any questions about this? Because I'm not getting any questions and I'm a little concerned. Want to make sure everybody gets it. So please feel free to ask me questions. If you are confused about anything, or if I'm going too fast, I just want to make sure you guys are getting everything. Okay, so now we're going to move on to leads and lead captures. So there are three main ways to capture leads from your website. So the first one, if we go back to the main page here and you go to your menu, is going to be what is my home worth? So this is a landing page with a lead capture. So anyone that clicks on this, they can just enter their property address. And then now it's creating a report. Here's where you're going to capture their information. Considering selling. And then now it's going to generate a report for their property. So it's going to show everything that they can look up. It's going to show what it's sold for, other places in the area, what the value is, how many beds, how many baths, square feet, year built. So have all of this information. And in the meantime, it is collected them as a lead, and it will alert you live and will go into your lead notifications after this. So you'll be able to be notified however you choose when you get a lead from your lead capture. And another thing is when you go into the home value page, you can save this link, and I would bookmark it because you can use this as a lead capture. Oh, sorry. Anne just asked a question. Is there any plan to add this feature in Canada? That is a Kelsey question. Kelsey, can you answer the question about the feature in Canada? She said yes, but I don't know the timeline. And then Adam asked, what about non-disclosure states? No sold price correct. So these are populated through Zillow. So it depends on the state, the non-disclosure states, whether how accurate the pricing is going to be. I don't know if that answers your question. Oh, let me unmute Kelsey 1 second because she can answer that. Okay. Are you there, Kelsey?
I am. Can you all hear me? I think you can hear me. Lisa, can you hear me?
I can definitely hear you.
Yes, there is a plan for that feature in Canada. We're working on finding an AVM that will work and is a good size. And then, but because we're still in the research phase, I have no idea on timeline. Adam, good to talk to you. Idaho is also a non-disclosure state. And the way that this works is it is pulling data from Zillow. If there's no data available, the user gets a message that says, thank you for submitting your request. A salesperson will reach out to you shortly. And that report is really a range. And as we know, it can be really specific or really broad. The really important thing is, there's someone in that home who's asking for more information on that. If there's nothing available, which from time to time does happen, they get an alert that says, thank you for submitting your request. We'll be back with you shortly. And then as the person who's getting that lead, you see like, hey, there was no data available. You need to reach out to them as shortly as soon as possible. And then you know that there's that request. Does that answer your question, Adam? Thank you, Lisa. It's way easier to say that than it is to type all that.
I know. I know.
Cool.
He said yes. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so moving back on. So we covered the first one of the lead captures, which is your home value page. And like I was saying, you want to bookmark this link because you can use it wherever. You could put it in your signature, which we'll get to later on in the webinar. You can put it on your social media. So basically, it's just a free source to create leads. And anyone, I mean, most people that are interested in selling are always going to be interested in this. And as Kelsey mentioned, and I mentioned, the pricing and information is coming from Zillow just because that is the most accurate across the board nationally. And for the most part, it is pretty accurate. So you definitely want to utilize this feature as much as you can because it's a great way to capture leads and it will go into your CRM, which we're going to cover next week. So secondly, you have a portal. So if I go back to the home page, up here at the top, it's going to stay like this. Anytime somebody's on your website, they can either log in or create a portal account. So if somebody wants to create a portal account, they're going to click on this and it's going to be able to tell them if basically anything that they want a notification for, an open house tracker, new to the market notification, image change, status change, price change on any properties that they're interested. So they would go in and create an account and then fill out all of their information here and create a user ID, a password, and then type in the password again and hit submit. And I really do suggest all of you that are using this platform, go in and create one for yourself, just so that you can see what's being sent, like when you get an automatic email or if you get an update, so you can actually see what your clients are receiving on their end. It's just a good rule of thumb so that you are familiar, especially if they ask any questions. So that will notify you anytime that they've created an account. It'll notify you when they log in. It'll notify you when they get a notification. So that is another source of lead capture. And then you also have the property search. So when you go back to the main page and they are searching a property, And once it loads, we'll check it out. So if they're going through and searching properties and they click on any of the properties, anything that they're looking at on this page, whether it's your listing or not, it's going to show up with your a contact window for them to ask more questions and put in their information. So they would put in their information here and then ask any questions or leave it blank and then hit submit. If they scroll all the way down after looking at the details and they are interested in the property, they can also you can get a lead notification for them requesting a showing. They'll fill out the information and any additional information that they want about the property and then hit submit. You will also get notified from that. And if they decide to share the property via email or text, then you will also get notified for that. So these are ways that you are being able to be notified on the client's behavior, and you can anticipate or have an even better or more intuitive way to be in contact with them. So when you do get these lead notifications, which we'll get to shortly, we'll set up in your profile, it will be categorized. So you'll know whether you're getting the lead from a contact box or from them sharing the property or from the portal or from a showing. So it will always be categorized in your leads, how you receive that lead or notification. Any questions about that? Sorry, I do see there's a chat. Adam asked, will you see who they email, text? Do these auto-populate to IQ? Kelsey said yes. So yes, you will be. So then it creates an additional lead as well, as long as you have that information, the email and or the text. Does that answer your question, Adam? Is there a way to create our own landing page? Yes. However, we're not going to get into that today. It'll be in the marketing. Adam said no. Sorry, Adam. We will get to that. Just be patient. Oh, actually, Kelsey did do a deeper dive of that at her earlier session this morning at 8, and she said it will be on the recording of the video library with this session as well. So, Adam, that is good news for you. And thank the Lord for Kelsey and her intuitive webinars. Okay, perfect. So now just to recap over the leads and lead captures, 3 ways from your website to be acquiring leads. So you have the home value page, landing page capture, and that pulls from Zillow, and it is not available in Canada yet, but hopefully will be. And then you have the portal. So you can have any of your clients create on their own, or you can create for them, which we will get into in another one of our webinars coming up. And then you also have the property search, where anything that they do on here is going to notify you as well. So moving on, now that we've covered all of this, we are going to set up your profile settings and your lead notification settings. So if I go back to the home page, there's 2 ways to get back. Now, obviously, I can just click on the tab back to my office, or if you are in your website editing, you can hit Office Login if you scroll all the way to the bottom, and it's always going to take you back to your dashboard. Now, to get to your profile setup, you're going to go up to your thumbnail here, click on your thumbnail, select the profile link. And then here, you want to fill out as much general information as you can, just as a rule of thumb. Over here on the right, you can fill out any of the links to your social media accounts. The more, the better. anywhere that you can get people looking at your information. And basically, the more social media accounts, the more visible you are online. You just want to make sure that they're not stagnant. You want to make sure that you're constantly updating them and you're consistent. So it's better to not have a social media account that is dormant than have 10 of them that you're not doing anything on. It's better to just focus on one or two versus having 5 and you're not keeping up with them. Just a rule of thumb. Okay, so now that you filled out your general information, you're going to go down here to your profile section. So essentially what this is going to be your bio. For any of you that don't have a bio, I can't stress enough how important it is to have a bio. I always suggest to agents, save it, create one, save it in a Word doc, because you're going to use it in several different places. You can use it on, your listing presentations as your resume in your resume section. You can pretty much have it on your Facebook page, anywhere that there's somewhere that's kind of asking for a little bio or a welcome intro for you. This is where you're going to use your bio. And it doesn't need to be 5 pages. It just needs to be a couple of paragraphs. The more, it's really to highlight your experience and your expertise as an agent. If you're a newer agent, you should always try and, as a rule of thumb, use any of the experience that you've had in your past professionally that would be applicable to, say, real estate. So if you worked in banking, then obviously you would be familiar with loans, and that would be an amazing basically something, knowledge that you would have to help future clients. Or if you worked in customer service for several years before you became an agent, etc. Those are things that are applicable that you could add if you don't have as much actual real estate experience. So you're going to fill out your profile here, and you really do want to make sure that you are filling this out if you haven't already, because this goes on your About Me page in your website. So if we go back to your website and you go to your About Me page, which is also here in your menu, by the way. Now, this is where your bio is going to show up. And also, if you have added any of your social media accounts, it's going to go here and they can click on it and it'll take you directly to the link of your page. So very important that you guys fill this out, because you want to have as much information on your About Me page. Everybody is checking out who you are as an agent nowadays. So fill out as much information as you can. So let me go back. Whoops. So fill that out. Make sure that you save it. And in order to save anything that you've done on this page, you're going to go up to the right-hand corner and hit save. Don't ever forget to save so you don't have to keep going back. And then once you've filled out you can also add a video profile URL too. And if you have that, I would suggest doing it because everybody loves videos. Also, you have your email signature here. So like I said, you can put your home value link in there. Anything that you want, you can customize. You can add a link in here as well. So if you wanted to add that URL to the lead capture for the home value page, you could do that. You can also use one of our email signature templates. So I'm going to choose one of these. And then add a phone number, since it doesn't, oops. There we go. You want to put your license number in there. It's just always good to keep your license number visible. I'm going to and then hit OK. And then hit save. And then now you have your email signature ready. So you can either use the templates that we have, And obviously it will have your own logo, or you can do a custom. And if you already have an email signature that you're using and you like, you can just copy and paste it into here. Any questions about that? Okay. So now that you've filled that information out, we are going to go to your lead notification preferences under preferences. So we were in details. When you open up your profile, just so you're not confused, when you open up profile, it's always going to open up in the details page. Now, in order to get to your lead notifications, we're going to click on preferences tab. So your notifications, these are where you're going to control all of your notifications. Here is where the leads by email, leads by text, leads by phone. So there are 3 choices for all of these. You can either do always 24/7, which means you will be receiving leads at all times when they come in live. You can put never, or you can select use my office hours. Now, in order to set up your office hours, you are going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of your preferences page, and then you set up your hours day by day and the times that you want those notifications to come in. So if I wanted to still get leads till 11 p.m., but I don't want to get them at 2 in the morning, then I would just change my office hours to 11 instead of normal business hours. Does that make sense? Any questions about this? So just to recap, you're going to fill out all of your general information here. You're going to add your social media account links here that are going to show up on your About Me page. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, this is where you're going to fill out your profile or your bio. And then down here is where you're going to fill out your email signature, which will go on any of your communications. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick recap of everything we covered, because I know it was a lot, just so you know what you should be practicing for this next week. So just to go over everything that we've covered today, we went in and we edited your website. So in order to do that, you go in to your profile thumbnail, you click on website, and then you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, put in your user ID to log in. And then now you're going to see it in edit mode with the black bar. And then once you edit something, you can edit your images, pick your slides. If you wanted to show, you would hit yes. You can also put in a video, or you can add your own YouTube video as well. And then you would fill out any of the copy or the search information here. Hit OK. Whoops. Let's go back to slideshow. And then if you want to show a panel or hide a panel, you can do that as well. It's always going to be up here on the right hand side of the box. You want to edit any of your panels, you can do that here as well and edit the copy. This is going to be the name or the description on the button. And then in order to add your custom pages, which I skipped over, you would select link, hit custom pages, and then I'm going to find the custom page that I created today, which is my new listings. And then I hit OK. So now when they click on this button right here, it's going to take them to my new custom page. So that is how you would add it to a panel on your actual, let me go back. That is how you would add it to any of the panels on here. So if you want to actually add any of those custom pages, you would add them here. Make sure you hit edit page. And then you would just select link. And this is how you would put any link for that button and hit OK. Make sure you hit save. And then in order to edit your menus, you can either edit it from here by selecting the menus tab. You're going to hit edit, and then you can go in, you can change the order of the subcategories. You can go in and edit anything on your menus from here. You can also do it from here as well. If you select edit, it's going to take you to the same menu. So there's two ways. And then you also have your custom pages, which we went over. So you're going to click on pages, select new page, or you can edit any of your existing. Once you hit new page, there's two different types of templates. You have the standard template and the dynamic template, which will actually feed from the MLS. And then don't forget, once you have created a page, that you need to add it to the menu so that you can now view the page on your website. And then we also went over your 3 types of leads, your home value page, and then you also have the portal that your clients can create. All they need to do is create an account here. And then in a later webinar, we'll get in how you can actually create one for your clients for them, whether they like it or not, so that they'll be getting the notifications as well. And then lastly, of the leads, you also have the property search. Once it loads. So any of the properties that they look at, you have the 3 ways that you can have a lead capture in the contact box, if they share the actual property, or if they request a showing. And then finally, once you have your leads coming in, you can go back to your profile settings under preferences. And then this is where you are going to set up your notifications and your notifications for your leads and your business hours all the way at the bottom. So that is a lot that we covered today. I just want to make sure, does anyone have any questions about any of that stuff that we covered? And if I can't answer them, Kelsey can answer them. But it is a lot of information to digest. And as I mentioned, you will be receiving an email with this recording of the training session and also the one that Kelsey did earlier. Don't forget that you also have access to all of the video tutorials on our library on YouTube, which is under Realistic. Kelsey put the direct link in there for the Facebook group as well. So if you have questions, she's always on there. There's also several ways that you can search for things to support. First, on our support section of the dashboard, by searching tutorials or starting a chat. So try to make sure that you have fully set up your website as much as possible. And then also you want to fill out as much of your profile settings. You definitely want to make sure that you put in your bio as soon as possible if you haven't done that already, and your email signature, because that is going to go out on any of your communications, whether it's internal or external. So are there any last questions before I end the session? No questions? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful week. Next week, we will be going over all of your CRM. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Thank you.